Alright, so what I have here is the ENGL 570 preamp, and I am comboing it with a stereo 50 watt tube head by ENGL as well. They both have a master A and B volume per channel and a independent presence knob as well. And this is what I pretty much do before I go on the road. I just make a real quick tour setting for each channel. So I'll probably have, playing with this, I've never really used it. I've always used my limited edition head, and I'm pretty much going to base my EQ settings onto this preamp here. I plan to use it mainly for like a higher mid-range kind of sound, so then it cuts through the rooms in whichever place or bar or venue, I should say. So yeah, I just wanted to give like a little example of my tweakings of what I do for each channel that I use on stage. So going with like a clean right now, there's a lot of options on this preamp, as well as the head, which is the special edition. I think it's the E570. I'm using the C9 foot switch, so I can have up to 10 independent channels to switch. I'm probably going to only use like 5 or 4, depending. But yeah, usually with the clean, let's see here. I usually put everything at 12 o'clock starting, and all of the independent gain channels at 0. So then I can kind of slowly dial in my tones. So with starting with the clean, you have 2 bright switches, 2 mid-range switches, high gain and a gain boost, a mega low punch, and a noise gate. So So, I mean, I got like the bass around 11, mids around 2 to 3, treb around 1, and the clean gain is actually like around 9-ish. Sorry if the settings are kind of hard to see, but these 2 lights right here, these 2 buttons are for the brightness options, and then these 2 at the bottom are for the mid-range. So I have the ultra bright and the mid edge engaged. So it's a pretty simple kind of clean sound right now. Since we don't really use a lot of clean, I'll probably save it. So the only thing to do to save your settings is to hold the right and copy button for a couple seconds. It'll stop flashing, and that indicates that when you switch, see if I can bring this out here, I'm on channel 1, so everything changes. If I go back to channel 1, all my settings are already saved and stored. So moving on to the rhythm and lead channels, I mainly used an overdrive. Right now I'm using just a Zakk Wylde overdrive. I usually, depending on how loud I'm playing, I usually have the output around this area. No gain, and I play around with the tone around 12 o'clock to 11 o'clock. It's usually engaged on all my rhythm and lead channels, and I disengage it when I'm on my clean channel. So it's onto the rhythm channel that I'll use. Let's see here. Turn off all of the settings. As you can see, the noise gate really kicks in pretty well. Earlier you had all the kind of staticky kind of noise in the feedback, and if you turn it off, everything is completely silent. It's really awesome. And I usually have the presence on the power section like around 11 to 12 o'clock, just to keep it kind of balanced. So that's pretty much it. I have like the actual gain knob at 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It's actually interesting. This thing has tons of gain. The bass is around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. The mid-range is around to 2 to 3. The treb, it's set to around 10 o'clock. Usually I notice that when it gets mic'd through PA and it gets cranked up, the higher frequencies tend to really bite your head off and doesn't sound that great. So I like to kind of back it off a little bit less on stage, and then kind of like let the PA kind of bring it back, so it kind of gives it a balance for the overall sound. The mega low punch is engaged. A normal bright switch is engaged, and the contour active just shapes up the mid-range a little bit more, and the noise gate, and that's pretty much it. What I have to keep in mind though with the EQ settings here is that I'll be sharing the same bass and mid-range with the lead channel. It's just how this angle is designed, and for for the most part, most of all ENGL amps are designed like this, unless you get the Invader. It has 4 independent EQ channels. So I'll go ahead and save this, and I'll move on to a lead channel. So let's see here. Let's see what we got. But the cool thing about the 2 lead channels is that it has its own independent treble section, so if you want like a smoother tone, it is very achievable. So I tend to go with that kind of sound. Excuse my playing right now, it's pretty sloppy, but it's just mainly just to get a tone. Alright, well, it sounds pretty good. I'm really enjoying what I'm getting through this head, or preamp I should say. I have both mid-ranges engaged, the ultra bright gain boost and mega low punch, as well as the noise gate. And for the treb knob, it's actually like around 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, so I can get more of a smoother tone. And surprisingly, the lead gain is at 11 o'clock. I haven't brought it up. I mean, I really don't have no need to crank it up. So I'll probably just bring it back down to where I had it. And that's about it. So I'll save this channel as well. And that's your simple, clean rhythm and lead. And then if I want to change it up, I have all the time to do that, but this is just a generic way of how I go around working with my EQs before I actually play. Obviously, when I actually play the first couple of shows, I will mess around with the volume levels, as well as the gain levels, and the probably the mid-range, just a little bit, depending on the environment of the room. But yeah, I hope you liked the video, just showing you what I go through before I actually play on the tour. And definitely check this out. If you have any questions about ENGL amps, definitely give me a shout out, either online or in person, and we'll see you soon.